So 1.3 is in the stable version now, and there's currently 2 issues with the BTR 70. One of them is pretty severe, and another one is more, it invalidates an existing feature. Okay, first the severe one. Okay, so here we're in the BTR. And you may have noticed in the patch notes, they talked about adding light probes. And what that means is basically they added, so yeah, if you open this hatch, you get light bleeding in, and the interior, it's pretty dark, as it should be, because there's no light coming in from the outside. Okay, now I can turn on the dashboard light. Looks like that. And now the first problem is when it's daytime. Okay, now it's daytime. And it's not even super sunny, it's overcast, okay? Now, notice what happens. It's the game's exposure settings completely blowing out the bright areas. Now, if I'm looking slightly away like that, notice it gets more visible if I go like that. Let's open the second one. See, now it's a bit easier to see. And that's a pretty severe issue because if you're driving like that, you basically can't see out of it. Now you can right-click, then the autoexposure fixes itself, sort of. But then you have the same problem like in Squad, where vehicles are just, vehicle interiors are just a black box where you can move the camera slightly around. But Reforger has like this beautiful vehicle cockpit view. But you can't use it because the exposure settings are wrong when driving the BTR 70. I think that would be easy to fix for a developer if they would just add some type of condition in the code where if the player is a driver, then the auto exposure settings should adjust so that doesn't happen. This bug has been in the game, I think, since they added the light probes, somewhere early in the 1.3 patch experimental. And I, on purpose, didn't make a video about it because I wanted to see if the developers would fix it until the stable release. And now it's 2 or 3 months later and they still didn't fix it. And the frustrating part here is that that's an issue that can be detected by any normal player within 5 seconds of playing. Literally, you get into the vehicle, you open a hatch, drive through any weather that's not complete nighttime, you can't see anything out of it. And the second issue is attached to it, but it's not as severe. So basically, if you notice here, notice how basically the way auto exposure works in most games, I think, is the game checks the brightest and the darkest spot on the screen, and then does some changes to how it's rendered to give you like that realistic light blooming in. Now that's realistic to some extent, but it's not that bad because in real life you wouldn't be able to use the vehicle like that and during any type of daylight. And the second problem is, notice here as I'm turning back, notice how over bright it gets because it's daytime. But it shouldn't be the case. If the vehicle is completely closed, then this should be as dark as it's nighttime. Let's go back to nighttime.